It's being called the superbug, a new strain of drug-resistant Neisseria gonorrhea that has been termed more deadly than HIV and AIDS. But is it?
It's somewhat an exaggeration, but still the same. It is a worry.
Worry that has prompted a research to be commissioned in Kenya by the Ministry of Health. Leading the research is Professor Omu Anzala of the Kavi Institute of Clinical Research. A visit to the lab shows tests being conducted on various samples collected across the country to ascertain the threat, if any.
When it was reported, measures were put in place to actually ensure that we look out for it. So those measures are still in place. We are getting samples from several sites from Nairobi. We are looking at sensitivity and resistant patterns. And for now, really, what I can tell you is that we don't really have to worry. But if there's need to inform, then we are on top of things.
Anzala says the strain has evolved over time and is now drug resistant.
This strain was isolated from a Japanese sex worker, and it was a strain that was isolated from the throat, which is a clear indication that sex work is done in actually different ways. And now what we are now putting in place is to be out there to begin to do surveillance so that samples are collected from various sites where patients who have STIs visit, and these samples come to the lab, and we grow the bacteria here and we look for the resistant or sensitivity profiles.
But the strain continues to evolve and is now devolving a resistance to the last orally administered antibiotic for gonorrhea. The term superbug simply means a bacteria that has mutated and become resistant to multiple classes of antibiotics. Increasing reports of gonorrhea drug resistance have been reported in Hong Kong, China, Australia, and other parts of Asia. The symptoms are much like those of gonorrhea. Common symptoms in men include a burning sensation while urinating, or a white, yellow, or green discharge from the penis that usually appears 1 to 14 days after infection. Sometimes men with gonorrhea get painful or swollen testicles. Others include discharge, anal itching, soreness, bleeding, or painful bowel movements.
Bacteria, for Neisseria gonorrhea, really, the worry is that we don't want to see a reemergence of resistance because we don't know what direction that resistance might take.
That the new strain of gonorrhea exists is not in doubt. The question now is how to treat it. That is why research continues, and Kenyans can only keep their fingers and legs crossed in the hope that it doesn't evolve in Kenya, and if it does, that viable treatment will have been found. In the meantime, if a person's symptoms continue for more than a few days after receiving treatment, he or she should return to a healthcare provider to be re-evaluated, as this strain of gonorrhea kills in a matter of days. Willis Raburu, Citizen Weekend.